Now let's get started with the fun stuff. We're going to start adding some products into our Etsy store. The way we do this is to create them in Printful, and the Printful system pushes them through to our store as a draft. So let's get started. Start from your Printful dashboard and click here to add some products. So now within the Printful system, you can now see under stores, here's our Etsy store, Pillow Place Designs. And to add a product, it helpfully says, click here to add. So in the first example, I used a very simple product. This time I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're going to pick something that has variations. Now, variations can apply to things where there are choices that your customer can make in terms of either picking a size, picking a color, or picking both. Because my shop is all about pillows, let's go ahead and create a pillow with variations. So I'm going to pick from the menu here, throw pillows. And I have a couple of choices. I can pick the basic or the premium. Let's just start with the basics. And here we arrive at our product designer, and as you can see, it's similar to exactly what we did before with the tote bag. All of the setups are exactly the same. There are some slight variations depending on the type of product and the type of design that you're adding, but basically the screens are always going to look the same. So we have some variations shown for our product over here. Select sizes. We can have a 20 by 12, an 18 by 18, and a 22 by 22. And you can select these on and off according to which variations you want to offer in your store to your customers. I'm going to offer all three. If you scroll down a little further, there are some other options. Here we can pick a zipper and stitch color. I'm going to stick with white. If you have a dark design, maybe you'd want a black zipper and black stitching. And again, there's a useful tutorial at the bottom. So I'm going to upload a file and pick something from my desktop. I think I'll pick this one. Open to bring it into Printful, and we'll see it start to upload here until it gets to 100%. Once my design's uploaded, I can choose it to add to my products. Now I have some little variations down the bottom here. These are the three different sizes that this pillow can come in. And I've picked this one specifically because it's quite interesting. Two of them are square, but one of them is rectangular. So let's click on the rectangular one, first of all, because we're going to set up our variations differently according to the size and the shape, because here we have two different shapes. So let's click on the first one, the rectangular one. Now, because my image is rectangular, you can see that it fits really well within the space for the cushion, and I really don't need to do anything to change that unless for whatever reason I may want to zoom in and take a closer crop. I'm going to just apply the whole file to the whole front. And in this case, it's slightly different to the tote bag because it asks us to also upload an image or use the same image for the back. So I'm going to click back, drop the design, and I'm just going to pick, in this case, exactly the same one. So the front and back of this pillow will be identical. So that is our rectangular one already taken care of. Let's have a look at a square one. So I'll pick a square pillow from here. And this time, instead of having a rectangular design, I have a square design box. And I can actually pull my rectangular design from one side to another. So I could have my pillow with just a small part of the blue just here, or I could drag it across so that I've got more of this design in it. So I think I will do a variation on the front. It will have the design on this side, and then as I switch to the back, although I'm using the same image, I'm actually going to drag it over there, so the back of the pillow and the front of the pillow are actually going to look slightly different. So that's my 18-inch one. I go to my 22, and again I can choose to do exactly the same. So the front looks like this, the back I'll drag the image over so that it looks slightly different. And then that means that my customers have a choice in how they decide to display their cushions. The front and the back will have slightly different designs on them. So when you're creating any product that has variations in terms of size and particularly in terms of shape, always make sure to go in and design each one separately. Now that my pillow is ready, I can click over to the mock-up view and check to see that it looks right on the actual product itself. Once the mock-ups have loaded, you can scroll down and see all of the available mock-up images for your products. And because there are variations, the first set of mock-ups are for this size and shape. And as we scroll down, there will be more mock-ups now for the 18-inch, and then more mock-ups again for the larger pillow size. So we've got lots of pictures there that we can choose from. Some just like isolated against a white background, some flat lays, some lifestyle images of the pillow in use, and some of it displayed with a person. When you're happy with how your design looks, click through to proceed to mock-ups. Now this is one area where I think Printful is a little bit strange, because although all of those mock-ups are available, you can only push a certain number of them through to your store automatically, and you have to pick which ones those are. So in this case, you can pick ones with a person, the flat image, the default here, which is isolated against a white background, or the lifestyle. And as you go through each one, you can scroll down and you can see what your mock-up images will look like, and you can pick which ones you want. Etsy allows a maximum of 10 images. So if you have a lot of variations and you want to include all of those variations, you need to be kind of a little bit clever about which mock-ups you push through to your store. So I think I'm going to go with the person mock-ups as the default. And I've got this one here which shows the front. I don't want to show the back. So I'm going to end up with 3 images pushed through to my store. Obviously you won't get them with white, they'll be actually populated with the image of your actual product with the design on it. Now I'm going to proceed through to my description by clicking the red button. And we can add in the basic details here of how the listing will look on Etsy. And we can include a product title, a product description, and some tags which are searchable within Etsy for your customers to be able to find your products. So go ahead now and fill in a title, a description, and a few tag ideas. So I've now gone ahead and added in a full product title. I've extended the description a little, and I've included some tags. I'm not really covering in this class about search engine optimization for Etsy and how you might want to word titles and descriptions and what tags to use. Once you have your store set up, that's something that you can go on to learn about yourself. So for now, let's click the red button to proceed with pricing. Now here is where you see how much Printful charges you to print and send your products, a suggested retail price, and how much profit you would make. Now when it says profit, that is the difference between the selling price and the Printful price. But of course there are Etsy fees, so you need to take those into account. Generally, at the time of creating this video, Etsy charges 5% of whatever your customer pays, including the price of any shipping. That is the Etsy fee, but there's also a payment collection fee, which it can vary depending on where you are, what currency you're using. But if you said that was around 3%, then that would be a good indication of what you will pay. You should click over to Etsy and have a look at their fees. If you go to etsy.com/legal/fees, you'll be able to look through the details there and see what all of the Etsy fees would be for your country. So now that you have that information in mind, it's up to you to decide how much you want to charge for your product. As you can see, there are different Printful prices depending on which variation, and you can set either the same or a different price here. You can choose to, for example here, mark it up by 35%. If I change that, you could mark up by 50%. If you only mark up by 10%, you're in danger that you won't cover your Etsy fees, or you really aren't going to make very much money. So it needs to be a little bit more than that. You can also change it up by dollar amount. So perhaps you wanted to make $10 per product, and therefore it would give you some suggested prices here. I'm going to leave mine, shall we say, 25%. And that gives me the retail price here, what will be charged for each product within my Etsy store. Now, as we scroll down a little more, you have your product sections. We already set up some sections, didn't we, when we set up our Etsy store? So now we can select which section that this product should go in. Mine is going to be pillows with inserts. And here you can see what the Printful shipping prices will be. So for example, if you wanted to send one of these pillows with inserts to the US, it would be $9.99. And if people bought multiples, for each additional, there would be an extra $4 in shipping. Now you can include free shipping on your Etsy store. And if you want to do that, you check the box here to display my product with free shipping. But remember, although it's free for your customers, it's not free for you. So if you wanted to do that, you would need to include an allowance for shipping costs in your item prices just here. I'm going to leave mine with Printful shipping just now. So all we need to do now is hit the red button to submit this to our store. If we scroll down to our products, you can see here that it's generating the print files and the mock-ups and sending this over to our Etsy store. So we'll just wait a moment for that to finish. And that's it. Our rectangular and square pillows with this design are now sent over to our Etsy store. You can see that it says that there are 3 synced. Those stand for the 3 different variations. It's only one product, but there are 3 variations for it. In our next video, we'll go over and take a look at that product now in Etsy.